Hello and welcome to Table of Geequals, episode, what is this, 41 now, or 41?
Episode 41.
Spoiler alert, no bitching. I'm PigMonkey, and I got my computer back, so I'm back to playing MechWarrior, but I actually have a laptop that I found out can run MechWarrior, so I now have two computers hooked up to the same monitor that can both play MechWarrior, and just for shits and giggles, I was running them both today.
Of course you were.
Impressive.
I could only play one at a time, but it didn't matter. However, that does raise the interesting possibility of trying to pilot two mechs simultaneously.
I'm Gavin, and I have been listening to an awful lot of 1940s radio dramas.
There you
thanks
go.
to my friend Bill here.
Yes.
He pointed me in a couple of interesting directions for old science fiction on the radio.
Did you find some X-1?
I didn't find
That's-
that one, but
you
I
gotta
kind
go.
of got sidetracked on The Shadow.
Oh
yeah,
of course.
man.
The Shadow
The
knows.
Shadow's a
Yeah,
classic.
of course.
Yeah.
Orson Welles. Yeah. Good stuff. We will
Very
talk. I
cool
have many
stuff.
more titles.
I
send
know
it his
what
way.
you've done, and I've phoned the police. You know, the Shadow was just a narc. He was a narc who could hide really well.
He had,
Yes.
he had
He's just
superpowers.
like, I know what you've done, and I've phoned the police. The weed of crime bears bitter fruit.
So he's neighborhood watch.
I know it's fun because
Sneaky
I've read a
neighborhood
lot of the
watch.
comic books, and in the comics and
He's
in the movie
a gun-toting...
he's got those
Yeah.
245s, which don't seem to come up that often in the radio play.
No.
No. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I've yet to see a comic of the Shadow that I've liked. And I mean, you know, Garth Ennis has written some. There's been some great writers. But if you learn about him in the radio show first, what you see on the page is
Well, I think
nothing
my
like it.
first experience with him would have been the movie.
Yeah, who was it? Billy Zane?
Billy?
No,
that was
he
the
played the
Phantom.
Phantom.
No, that was Phantom. Yeah, that's...
Was it Baldwin? Alex
Yeah,
Baldwin?
Baldwin.
Yeah.
It
was Baldwin.
And
Yeah.
it was a pretty fun little movie. So
There's lots of great radio dramas. I will
Oh,
give
absolutely.
you a list. I will
Well,
put a
but
list together.
you're also comparing video against audio, and when you compare the two, it's not really fair. The writing of audio, just by its very nature, has to be better because it has to elicit pictures in your head rather than being fed pictures.
the acting
So you're
acting
gonna-
was really solid.
Yeah, it's. But I mean, PigMonkey, you're on spot there. But it's also the character development. I like the character better, the way that Orson Welles and the boys wrote him back in the 40s, compared to how Garth Ennis or Howard Chaykin wrote him recently as well, within the last couple of years.
Blowing tunnels through motherfuckers in the 45.
Yeah, exactly. Anywho, I'm Bill. My geek week, I've played the second story of Wolf Among Us, which went way too fast. It was super good, though. And, what, you don't want me to ruin anything? No bitching.
Yeah,
I
no,
won't.
go ahead.
I won't know because
Go
on
ahead.
the first one we did this too because the ending is so good that I just
Again?
as a friend I don't want to
Again?
I don't want to hurt you.
The ending is
I'm
good
very
again?
happy with it. Yeah,
Okay.
a good cliffhanger.
Is
Again.
it what? Is it another 2.5?
You don't want to know
hours?
anything. Stop
Is
asking
it
questions.
Another 2.5 hours?
No,
of play?
less than 2 hours. I bet you I got through it in about an hour 40, an hour.
Still
45.
a $5 game.
Yeah. It's worth it. It's really, really
John
good.
Ray and I have been humming and hawing over it.
Yeah,
for a
no,
while.
it's really good. I played it too quick, though. I played it right after it came out, and it was quite glitchy. So it's probably better by now.
I'm Alex. I spent a lot of this week preparing for Geeks vs. Nerds, but I also caught up on some Spider-Man reading. I also caught up on Walking Dead, so that was an intense episode.
I had 2 big predictions come true on Sunday night.
That's true.
Predictions that I made here.
Now, to hold true to my angry status.
Oh, what's he gonna bitch about now?
Not something super nerdy, just something common sense. If you drive, clean the ice off the top of your fucking vehicle. 2 people.
Are you talking about
Real
just
life?
people in
Yeah,
real life,
in
or
real
are you
life.
talking about
in real life, not
Okay.
GTA 5? Because I'm sorry, 2 people have been injured on the highway this week in Halifax.
Within, 24 hours.
Yeah, by ice flying off of vehicles and hitting them in the windshield. And I'm sorry, just clean off your fucking cars. Anyway, that's what I'm angry about this week.
Table of Geequals public service announcement.
Yeah, seriously, clean off your fucking cars. But yeah, Walking Dead. Fuck.
Good
Yeah.
episode. I was
Very
happy
good
with it.
episode.
I was very happy with where everybody was heading.
That little cunt.
She's psycho. She's psycho. Are you guys caught up on? No,
I haven't
don't
watched
care.
anything
Yeah, you don't care.
past the first.
There's a psycho 10-year-old?
No, she's got to be like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Her sister is like 8.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, but we almost saw a 12-year-old suffocate a baby on television.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough watching.
Well, the whole time, like, my wife is almost in tears.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there, let her go, you cunt. Let her go, you cunt. Like, I don't use that word a whole lot, but man, I think I've said it like 20 times this week.
The kid's an awesome actor.
22 now.
22, yeah.
The kid's an awesome actor, though.
Oh, yeah,
the
she's doing a
facial
great job.
expressions that she's pulling out, like
Or she's actually a
blankness.
sociopath.
Yeah, that's quite possible as well. But great episode. My 2 predictions that came true. Tyrese has the kids, and they run into Carol. In
Well,
the
yeah,
woods.
I knew that Tyrese, like, we knew Tyrese
Yeah.
had the kids.
We didn't know about Judith,
Oh,
though.
we knew.
Yeah,
We
whatever.
talked
I'm
about
taking
this.
it.
We
I
knew.
know. I did. We talked about it because I made the prediction.
Hey,
Great episode.
We knew, okay? But yeah, you totally called Carol coming back and reuniting with them. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it was good. I have no idea where they're going to go from here, which is
nice,
exciting.
But it was nice. It was a good episode. We saw like 4 stories.
But let's
Get
get
a little bit of each.
You read the comics. You guys read the comics too, right?
Yep.
Who were those 3 people at the end? I didn't recognize them. I haven't read that far into the comics, but the internet is in love with these 3 people.
Oh yeah, they are. Rightly so. I can't remember the one with the mullet's name offhand for some reason right now.
He's got the radio.
Yeah, he had the radio in his hands. Yeah, I want to say Dudley for some reason, but like I know that's not right. But the big guy with the machine gun, another Band of Brothers alum, is Abraham.
Oh, good casting.
Yeah. So like remember Ox from Band of Brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing Abraham.
Okay,
in
no,
the show.
I'm down. I
Yeah.
can see that. Does
Really
he have
good.
the mustache?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he looks perfect.
Oh,
like
it's
I've seen
amazing.
the pictures put up against each other on the web.
It's
They look
amazing.
bang on. Like mullet and
very
radio
cool.
and ball cap,
Oh, yeah.
and everybody looks
When I
perfect.
saw him, I was just like, "Oh my god, Abraham's here!" And my wife's just like, "What?"
Who?
I'm just like, "Never mind." You
Well, I
heard
mean,
nothing.
they're getting to the point where they need fresh blood. So
Yeah.
because I mean,
Literally.
it's
So-
kind of a rough narrative for recurring characters.
Yeah. Well, we're down to.
and
I mean,
Rosalita was there as well.
the opening credits, there's only like 4 names in the main credits now on The Walking Dead. Like, everybody is dead. It's like Carl, Rick, Glenn,
Michonne,
Michonne,
Maggie.
and Maggie. Those are your 4 or 5 opening credits, and then everybody else is like Beth. No, that can't. I don't think Michonne is in the opening credits, but Daryl is.
What?
And then it goes into.
Pretty sure Michonne is.
Yeah, well, it's only 5 or 6. Anyway, Gavin's point. They need some new people, and these seem like great additions.
I'm wondering because in the comics there was also another sociopath, and it was one of the twins. So in the comics there were 2 twin boys whose parents both died, and so one of them started to show sociopathic tendencies, and he ended up killing his brother in the comic, and then Carl ended up killing the sociopath.
Right.
So I'm wondering if they're going to do something similar where Carl just fucking ends that bitch. And I hope,
12-year-old.
I really, really hope he does. I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, he doesn't know it,
Well,
but the
I
baby
mean-
she tried to suffocate is his little
Is his
sister.
little
He
sister.
doesn't know that she did this, but
I mean that could come up, and they could quite easily do that.
yeah.
My feeling there, though, is that because I don't watch the show, a lot of my friends at work do, and they all hate Carl.
Oh yeah.
I like him.
So
He's
I feel
improved
like
so much
if
since the second
they
season.
do something like that with Carl, it's just going to turn the entire audience off the character.
Yeah, I don't love him. The
I like him
actor,
now.
the actor is doing a much better job than originally.
He's
like 15 years old. I know.
Yeah, he's a 13 to 15-year-old. You don't like people like that. You don't. Like it's very rare that you like a 13 to 15-year-old when you're an adult. Okay,
There's so many jokes.
I'm not going there. But I mean, honestly, I think my wife would actually be okay with Carl killing that sociopath.
Yeah.
Because you don't want somebody like that in your group of survivors. You don't.
Well, fair enough. But is it actually sociopathy or just a bad case of PTSD?
The fact that she's killed bunnies, mice, attached herself to she's
Why
become
don't you
attached
just wind
to
her up
zombies.
and say, you know what, killing zombies is okay.
Yeah.
We're not going to cause
She's
you
killed
any...
a couple of zombies, but I think we're going to find out she was feeding the rats to the zombies through the fence and stuff. She named the zombies. She was really upset when they hurt particular zombies because she had given them names.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really interesting character.
She doesn't
on
care about
television.
the zombies.
Yeah.
She just wants to cause pain.
Yeah, it's a very interesting character.
I hope that Carl kills her. I think that it would make a really good story arc where Carl then, they have to come to terms. Because in the comics, you were almost thinking that Carl was going to turn into a sociopath.
Yeah.
He didn't.
No,
yet.
that great scene where they all kind of confess their biggest sins to each other.
Yeah.
Was really solid writing in the comics.
Oh, yeah.
So
the book itself, I'm still reading it, 121 issues in. I've read 120, 121 I haven't read yet. But I don't know. I'm still loving the comic. I love the show. I actually like Carl now. I mean, they're the whole stay in the house Carl thing from the second season.
Yeah. Where's Carl?
Not in the house. I don't know. I think they've really done a good job of expanding his character, and I think that he's a good character to have on the show.
Yeah, I can see it, but Rick and Carl are my least favorite storyline at the moment.
Rick will get better.
Yeah.
Has he gone off the deep end yet? Answering
we didn't
phones
see him
that
this
aren't ringing and all that.
We saw him go
happened,
deep end
a year and a
long
half ago.
time ago.
Yeah.
But I think they made a good point in one of the recent issues. Right now in the comics, they're dealing with a bad guy named Negan, and it's kind of a big deal. And somebody made the point: Rick has dealt with these type of psychopaths before, with the governor and the cannibals and all that stuff. He knows how to deal with people like this now, so he's not a little bitch anymore.
Yeah,
in
but
the
Negan's
comics.
a lot more
And that's
on the ball
the issue.
than the other ones.
That's the worry.
Unevolved? Is
he
that what you
feels
said?
On the ball.
Oh, I said unevolved.
No, he does. He does like his club a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the question: is he underestimating Negan?
Entirely possible, because they did have that. Okay, we're going to shoot him now, and then Negan's like, "We don't use guns on zombies. We use guns on people."
Yeah. No, it's anyway. It's. I'm interested to see where the show's going to go. I love where it's going so far.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Good times.
Spider-Man.
I got nothing for Spider-Man
You
this
didn't
week.
read 27?
No, I got 2 left
All right.
to
Never
read.
mind. Moving on.
So
All right,
for
next
the first
week, I
time
promise.
in
Next
a
week,
long
Spider-Man
time-
On
Corner.
to the Week in Geek, then.
Meet Week in Geek, yes. Oh, I let down the Spider-Man fans out there that are listening. I feel horrible.
You really? Both of them?
They're both really nice people.
Alex, did you read the New Winter Soldier?
No, I haven't.
It's strong enough that I'm going to keep reading it.
Awesome.
So I've got Marvel back in my pull list again.
There you go.
Huzzah!
Week in Geek.
Guardians trailer released.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Groot looks badass.
They all look badass.
I don't know. Gamora, meh. Drax, meh.
Well,
Groot looks...
That shot
Yeah.
right from the cover of one of the issues where they're all in the line.
lineup.
Yeah.
It's that's just perfect.
No, man. I think they all look amazing.
Yeah, Nebula. Finally
Yep.
got to see Amy Pond from Doctor Who as
Yeah.
Nebula.
And
that was cool.
Ronan's.
Ronan
will be in the
holding
movie.
up Drax by the throat
Yeah.
in one shot.
And John C. Reilly and the roommate from Shaun of the Dead.
Nick Frost.
Not Nick Frost.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
the
Tex from...
yeah.
Yeah.
what was his name?
Those two were in the trailer.
I didn't realize it was him.
Those were Nova Corps.
Oh, isn't
Oh,
that
okay.
interesting?
Yeah. If you notice, they were wearing the Nova.
Yeah, I saw
yeah.
that. That is. They were wearing
That's
the
the Nova
V.
uniform for the film.
Nice catch.
Man, I'm really, really excited. Chris Pratt is going to be amazing.
He's going to be, yeah.
He is Star-Lord.
Top notch.
He is Star-Lord. I'm Star-Lord. Who?
Who?
No, Scourge of enemies of the galaxy. Fine, you know what? Whatever. And him in the lineup, doing the whole
Yeah.
machine finger going up, and then it gets blurred, and then he's like, Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't know what this machine was gonna do. Oh man, no, I'm really, really stoked for this movie.
Star-Lord, Jesus Christ, that's obscure.
When's the release date on it? Still a ways.
I get the impression from,
August 8th, I think.
I get the impression from the trailer that Star-Lord has been away since the mid-70s. Like, that's when he left. or maybe early 80s, because he was hooked on a feeling and he had a old-style Walkman.
Well, the way that he
So he's been out
gets
there by himself
upset,
for a while.
the way that he gets upset about somebody else using the Walkman, I think it's his childhood Walkman.
Yeah.
And it's one of the belongings he brought with him to space as an adult, or a young adult anyway.
Right.
But it's just something that he keeps with him. So that's probably why he gets so fucking pissed.
Plus, it's a great nod to the last time we actually saw Star-Lord in the comic book.
Hey.
Good point.
Peter Quill is in the new Guardians of the Galaxy comic.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Given that he's in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yeah. No, it's not bad.
Should I read the comic? Should I go looking for this before the movie?
It's not necessary, I don't think.
But is it good, though?
It's decent.
Who's writing it? Do you know?
It was Bendis. I think it still is
right,
Bendis,
yeah.
actually.
I think I'm gonna go looking for
It
it.
kind of stalled around Infinity, like
Like a lot of things.
As most of Marvel did. Yeah.
but I think it's moving into a good direction again. The problem is, I feel like they're trying to do too much with all the characters at once.
Right.
Where what they should be doing is either focus on nobody and just have it as a group book, or focus on one character for an extended period of time.
Split up the party. What? You know how much of a pain in the ass that is?
Well, Claremont...
I hate people like you.
Claremont did a pretty good job of juggling an ensemble cast in X-Men back in the 80s and 90s, so it's not without precedent to be able
No,
to
for
pull it
sure.
off.
I
the right writers.
I don't like the way that they're doing it. But it is an entertaining book, and I mean, I'm reading it.
I mean, this was a time when they had like long shot with a mullet and Dazzler floating around. So there's some real B-listers.
Are you
but he's still
saying
managing to-
there's something wrong with Dazzler?
Yes.
That's a
Yes, I am.
badass power, man.
I'm not denying the
She
power's
wasn't-
useful.
She wasn't wearing roller skates.
She's a great character.
Okay, sorry. Didn't mean to start a thing. But yeah, it's Marvel's kind of.
They were Australia's Alpha Flight for that whole run.
But they do. Roca, one of my favorite writers right now, has got a Cyclops standalone in the works.
Yeah, I heard
One
that.
of my least favorite characters of all
Yeah,
time.
and he's going to be in space with his dad.
Ooh, Space Dad.
Who's his dad? It's
Corsair.
somebody Star something.
Corsair.
Corsair. That's
From
it.
the
yeah.
Starjammers?
Starjammers.
Yes.
That's the word I was looking for. Right.
Yeah.
I don't really think that needed to be revisited.
Nope.
Personally, but hey,
Well, they've done so much to make Cyclops just the new Magneto in training that they kind of do need to go back to his roots, or he's just going to go dark.
Well, the problem is, no, Cyclops will never be the new Magneto in training, because Cyclops doesn't have Magneto's ability at all. Like not even close. He can pew, and he's a great tactician and that, but it still won't do a whole lot to defend you from Thor's hammer from orbit.
Yeah, but could Magneto do anything about Thor's hammer from orbit?
It's made of metal.
Some
I
sort
would
of metal.
assume.
I don't think he can affect it with magnetic fields.
Am I wrong to think that this is kind of out of Ruka's wheelhouse? I kind of think of him as like the Queen of Country kind of guy. And
Yeah.
the more spy type things. Has he written stuff in space?
No,
It's vast.
Not that I'm aware of, but
who did? Wait, did he do Space Punisher?
did he?
Space
Those
Punisher?
two words do not belong together.
Yes, they
You know
do.
what? He might have. It was
searching it right
done
now.
like an old classic
Space
science
Punisher?
fiction serial kind of thing, and it was very weird.
It sounds weird.
I want to write a Space Punisher radio play now.
It wasn't a bad series either.
How long ago?
2-3 years.
Oh, I totally missed that. That wasn't on my radar at all.
Yeah, it wasn't on a lot of people's radars.
That's funny. Space Punisher.
But
Too funny.
dual wielding the energy
No,
guns.
it wasn't Rucka.
No, who was it?
Frank Thierry and Mark Texiera.
Sierra. Aren't they the guys? They worked on G.I. Joe and stuff. They worked on Wolverine back in the 90s together, those two.
Just look at this cover, though.
Yeah, the cover says
Oh
it
my
all
God, that's
right
awesome.
there.
That's great. The reflection of the Punisher in an astronaut's helmet. And
It's
of course he
amazing.
has guns ablazing. Speaking of Punisher, to
Space
get back...
guns.
Space guns, of
Space
course.
guns
Because
blazing.
regular guns won't work. Duh,
Exactly.
Bill.
It's like those old science fiction movies
Race
that had like their Space 45s.
No,
Nice.
they're special guns that displace the inertia effect of firing a projectile in space.
I just like the idea of making lasers that look like 45s and then still limiting them to like 6 or 8 shots.
Yeah, it's a laser.
A laser
Like
round.
some guy is like, this seems awfully just
Well, that's what I used to love about those old movies.
silly.
Like, we're on a space station, and there's an alien loose, and we've all got our guns because we walk around with them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're even going to throw some grenades. Like, do you guys know there's vacuum out there, right?
Just hold on. Before we get into this, let me light my cigarette aboard this space station.
It's like the old classic Battlestar Galactica where they're one of their ceiling doors and smoke's coming under it. And it's like, not sure you understand how a vacuum works.
Speaking of space and guns, anybody read the new Firefly? That
No, I didn't.
comic that came out last week?
I think I've reached the point where I no longer care about Firefly.
Yeah. It's sitting on my side table, but I haven't opened it yet.
The best part of Firefly died, so I don't give a shit.
Wash.
Walsh.
Wash.
Yeah, Wash.
Yes.
I have no interest. Like, I almost didn't
Oh,
finish watching the series because I had seen the movie first.
Yeah.
And I knew that, like, as I was watching this, like, he was my favorite character in the movie. And then
the whole thing, you're
and
watching
so
it
like
and going,
and then in the
"He
show
dies."
Yeah, it's
3
like,
episodes in I almost didn't continue. I was just like, every episode I'm falling more and more in love with this character, and I know what comes, so I know
Alex, we all die.
shut up.
Everybody. Including that 12-year-old
Well,
bitch
So
from Walking
first I get told that
Speaking,
everybody
uh,
poops, and now I'm being told
Yeah.
that everyone dies.
Dead. Welcome. The bookends. You have finished learning. You have reached the end of
You
learning.
now have enlightenment.
That's right.
Speaking of Joss Whedon projects, Dr. Horrible 2
Yes, please.
looks like it's going to be made. I appreciated Dr. Horrible 1. I did not love it the way
It's got...
rabid fans seem to love it. Like, it was good. I like Neil Patrick Harris. I like Felicia Day.
Nathan Fillion.
I like Nathan Fillion. The story was, it was clever. It was a different take on something. I appreciate it. I watched it once, and then I watched it again like 3 months later, and then I saw it when they put it on as a play here at the Fringe. It was good, but it didn't really warrant anything more than that in my mind.
Where do you guys stand on it?
As far as I'm concerned, there is one good musical, and it's Paint Your Wagon.
It was Lee Major's birthday yesterday.
Nice.
There you go. Well, of course he's dead, but
Yeah.
it
So
was
he's not celebrating it.
his
then.
birth date, let's call it.
But, I mean, I watched Dr. Horrible because pretty much
Joss
had
Whedon.
to. And I don't think it needed a sequel. I think they could have just walked away with a cute little
I
project
think
under
it's
the
so
belt.
absolutely adorable that I will take 2, 3, 4, and 5. No problems.
I really enjoyed it. I just, I'll agree a sequel wasn't necessary. I'll see it because I really enjoyed the first one.
I'll see it because I'm a geek, and I just need to be able to talk about it with other people so that I can pretend to connect with them on an emotional level.
If they can have the same sincerity that the first project had, I'll be all for it. The problem is the first project. It was a labor of love. Every person who was involved in it didn't have to be.
Well,
it
not
was
only
it was
that,
done
it was-
during the
That's an
writers'
interesting
strike.
point. Yeah.
When
It was just a side project that he figured, you know what, we're gonna do this. Nothing is on right now, so it's a good time to go and do something. So, and they ended up creating a little gem. And I mean, you can watch it 1,000 times. The songs are great.
Yeah.
And
But
there's genuine feeling there.
Yeah, I trust everybody involved with that. I will follow Joss Whedon down any road. I will follow Neil Patrick Harris down any road, Philion, and Felicia Day. I just trust all of them that it will be entertaining.
The only
I
problem
love
with that
musicals,
is,
though,
the
as
only
well.
problem with that is Joss Whedon will kill everything you love.
Yeah, that's true. I'm used to that now. I started with Buffy, so
he's,
I understand.
He's broken your soul.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I do. I love musicals. I love Neil Patrick Harris. Everything about that movie has Bill written all over it. So, all for part 2.
Okay. This week on Arrow, they're bringing in the Clock King. And with all of the... It's just... I say, if you're going to have all of the Batman Rogues Gallery in there, why not have Batman? But I'm just seeing a lot of Batman's whole... And it's not even their... It's not his first string Rogues Gallery, but, I mean, they've had KG Beast. They've had...
KG Beast. What a
Classic.
name. Yeah.
And now Clock King, and I mean they've stuck to Vertigo, which is a traditional Green Arrow villain, and Merlin, which work. But aside from that, they're drawing really heavily from Batman.
Well, it's not like Batman can't spare the Rogues Gallery.
Well, it is like Batman's second string Rogues Gallery. Like he's.
But
not...
who else would be Green Arrows? Like who
You know
else
what,
would you
though?
put up there?
You read the history of the character.
Of Clock King?
Yeah, and he's primarily listed as a Green Arrow.
Is he?
Ooh.
Yeah. He is.
He was just in a Batman comic a couple of months ago, one of those Batman 66.
Well,
Yeah,
it's much
but,
safer
like, it's a good
to
time.
be a Batman villain because boomerangs hurt a lot less than arrows.
True. They just
So-
leave marks, not holes.
Yeah,
Even
no,
with
the-
that boxing glove on the end of it, it's still a lot less painful. Batman's just going to knock your ass out.
The original...
Knock your clock. Clean your clock. Clean your clock.
The second Clock King was originally an enemy of Green Arrow.
I know.
I don't know the character.
Me neither.
He is an efficiency expert. I don't
Yeah.
know if that...
No, I don't know
but in
Arrow.
the-
I mean, I don't know the Green Arrow
Wasn't
history
he
very
a
well.
member of the Justice League Antarctica?
I don't know.
There was a Justice League Antarctica.
It was a
Yeah.
sort of a joke annual where the
Oh.
Injustice League accidentally stopped a crime. They decided it was much nicer to be heroes, so they wanted to join the Justice League, and the Justice League is like, well, if we
Open a
don't take
chapter.
them, they're going to be villains again. So we'll just promote them to where they can't do any harm. So they send Major Disaster and Nort and
Nort.
a bunch of the other the losers to become the Justice League Antarctica. And of course, somebody crossbreeds piranhas and penguins, and it goes about as poorly as you would expect.
The,
I'm gonna
the
read that after
original-
Space Punisher.
The original Clock King, William Talkman, it says, was foiled in his first caper by the Green Arrow.
There
I
you
thought he
go.
was a Batman villain.
Well, I mean, that's
You
the
can be
thing.
both.
Like, the Wrecking Crew in Marvel. Like,
Thor.
you could argue Thor,
Or Spider-Man.
but Spider-Man, he's constantly coming up against them.
but
The
That's
Avengers
right.
are
The-
constantly
the-
going up against them.
Yeah, but the Wrecking Crew would not have their powers and would not be a threat to Spider-Man or the Avengers were it not for Thor.
Okay.
The crowbar.
So in this case-
the
in this
crowbar
case,
that gives the Wrecking Crew their power was struck by the.
Yeah, there's a connection there
Yeah.
for sure. Kingpin.
In that case-
everyone's Daredevil,
I'll
but he's
go,
a Spidey guy.
Kingpin because that goes across like 3 or 4 big ones.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, arguably so does the Wrecking Crew, but like there's villains like that all across, and I mean, like he was a character that was originally dreamed up for Green Arrow back in the day. It was World's Finest in 1960, I guess.
That far back. Eh?
Yeah, But he
didn't think he was contemporary with Clock King as a...
No, but still 50.
But yeah, I mean, like, he ended up getting most of his kind of exposure, I guess, with Batman. But he was definitely a Green Arrow villain, which is kind of cool. But again, I don't know the character at all, and
he's just one of those people who has. He's an interesting character, being a human level guy, but because he's obsessed with timing and everything, he's just got perfect timing. He's in the right place at the right time. That's sort of his superpower.
It's like Black Cat's luck power.
It's not luck because...
But the same idea. Yeah. Like, it's kind of intangible,
yes.
but it's there.
Well,
or the shadow clouding minds.
I love the early kind of backstories of these early villains. Born William Talkman. I love that name. Clock King spends his early years taking care of his invalid sister.
I would have said Richard, because then he could have been Dick Talk.
One day...
team up with the Tick.
Yeah.
One day he finds out from a doctor's visit that he himself only has 6 months to live. Despairing for his sister's future, he watches the timing of a local bank's vault in order to rob it, hoping the money would provide for his sister after he was gone. His caper would have gone successfully had he not tripped a silent alarm and been caught by the Green Arrow. And while he's incarcerated, his sister dies alone. So great. Then he turns...
Nice going, Green Arrow.
Yeah, what a dick.
Fucking dick.
I hope they take that storyline for Arrow. Just like Green Arrow, total dipshit.
The upside is that he was given 6 months to live in the 60s, and he's still around today.
Well, no, there's a second Clock King.
Okay.
But he didn't appear until 2008, so he had a good run.
Star Wars. A couple of interesting Star Wars notes this week. First of all, it seems that the construction, yes, that's right, construction of models for Star Wars Episode 7, it has begun. They're not going CGI now. They're doing it the old way, the proper way,
excellent,
the right way. To do something like this is to build models and film it in front of a green screen.
I'm all for it.
I just want them to go back to puppets too. If they're going to go back to models,
I'm with you on the puppets, but I mean, frankly, watching the new movies, and they had plenty of flaws. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't have a problem with the space battles. I thought those looked pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'm thinking they'll build the models and anything else will be enhanced. Like, if you build the models and do it well and do it right, you don't need to change anything. And if you need to change something, we have the more than enough of the technology to change it after the fact if they need to. So I can't wait.
I couldn't wait before this.
Yeah. The space battles will be good, but it's I don't know. There's something, I guess, warmer about having models.
Oh yeah, part of your brain can always tell.
And the other thing that there were 2 Star Wars Rebels trailers released.
This new cartoon?
Yeah, it looks pretty damn good. Again, it's during the Wild years, which, in my mind, is the most interesting time in the Star Wars universe. Because everything's going to hell. You're living under, like, totalitarian rule. You're living on the fringes of society. And now you've got to make a living.
Didn't we see that in Firefly?
That's what I was just about to say, actually. But...
The character from Rebels, have we seen him before? Kanan or Kanan, or however you pronounce it?
No.
Kanan?
Kanon is what I...
Well, it's entirely possible. There is so much expanded universe stuff out there that it's...
None of which is canon any longer.
None of which is canon any longer, but I know more about Kit Fisto than I've ever needed to know.
The
Horrible name.
It is a bad name. That's what I was just thinking too.
Have you always wanted to be fisted but never had somebody to fist you? Well, welcome to my new product, Kit Fisto.
Yeah. But I mean, they've snuck jokes into Star Wars character names before. There is a Jedi whose last name is Bates.
Funny.
And I believe he did actually attain the rank of Master before Vader killed him.
Best name ever.
Anyway, I saw they've released a whole bunch of sketches on all the cast and the main characters, and it's solid animation. I think it'll be good. I like the fact that the Jedi main character likes to use a blaster. I like the fact that Jedi go, you know what? I don't want to get into close combat with this guy. Fire only travels so far, and if I have a blaster, that solves most of my problems.
But I think the Jedi with a lightsaber is largely immune to blasters, so...
Yes, but a Jedi only really is in danger at about 30 range from a flamethrower. 30-foot range from a flamethrower. And they can deflect blaster bolts. You know, they can force push anything like grenades. So basically, you need explosions that occur outside, or fire, which they can't really do anything about. And it's really hard to focus force powers when you're on fire.
Is fire the kryptonite of Jedis?
It's what bounty hunters use to...
Django had a flamethrower.
Yeah, so did
I
Boba.
suppose. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that being much of a thing. Must be expanded canon.
Maybe.
He never used it in the movies.
No, but he did have a flamethrower. It's in the armor.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Did not know that.
Yeah, it's the never fail way to beat a Jedi because they can't deflect it with their lightsaber. However, you have to get within 30 feet of a Jedi,
Right.
and that's usually they can throw their lightsaber at that range.
Napalm?
Well, that too, but
Take them all out.
Honestly,
if the Force unleashes to be believed, you could just yank that the plane delivering the napalm straight out of the air.
orbital.
Yeah, you're not deflecting shit with an orbital strike, but
No, how about a rod from God? One of those.
You're in love with this idea.
What was it?
I really
in the original?
I like it.
In the original Star Wars role-playing game, the original Star Wars D6 role-playing game, if you gave Yoda a lightsaber, he had enough dice. He had enough ability that he could parry a blast from the Death Star if you stuck him on the planet.
yeah, but you're dealing with a high-end stat issue there.
It was
Like in DC Heroes, Batman could technically lift a B-2 bomber. And he's pretty strong. And if you actually liquidated Lex Luthor's cash, he would have more money than there is money on Earth. Let's not get too tied up in role-playing games and the skinny end of the wedge.
It was just an interesting bit of statistics that I went, huh. This was before they patched those holes.
Yes.
Right.
Marvel movie news. They have confirmed their Phase 3 movies. It's going to be Ant-Man, Cap 3, Thor 3, Avengers 3, and Doc Strange. And all of them, Doc Strange seems the most interesting to me.
The
A lot
animated
of
they
threes
put out a
in
few
there.
years ago was pretty good.
Yeah, it
so.
was pretty good.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I did like that.
Yeah.
Have we talked about Brian K. Vaughan's Doctor Strange story
We
before?
have not.
Is it called The Omen? Is that what it was called? Something along those lines? Man, that was a fantastic read. It was
Well,
so good.
Vaughn is an okay writer.
Yeah,
I
he's
guess.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's never really done anything of prominence.
No,
right?
you'll hear his name in the future. I think he's gonna do
Yeah.
good things.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's kind of like a freaking
The Oath.
genius.
It's not called The Omen. It was called The Oath.
The Oath.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah, you're
Doctor
right.
Strange. It's about the Hippocratic Oath is kind of the underlying
Okay,
story.
yeah. Again, that's sort of playing to Vaughn's strength there.
When you're no
So
longer
good.
a doctor, like a practicing doctor, do you still have to abide by the oath?
Yeah, but he's
I don't
still
know.
strange, so he has to maintain both sides.
So he
He's-
just has to look at people
Yeah, he's
in a
just
weird way.
nah, he's so weird they call him doctor.
Even before that, though, do you get to keep the term doctor in your name? I guess
Yeah, you
it's
get
still
the degree.
President Clinton.
You've
He's
earned
still,
your doctorate.
Hey, man.
whether
Yeah.
or
Oh,
not
yeah. I
you're-
suppose.
If
Yeah.
you
Good point.
still
Yeah.
have to call Hannibal Lecter a doctor, you get to keep
Good
that.
point. Yeah. Good point.
I think at the moment you start eating people, if at that point you still get to
You
keep
don't lose
the
your
title
titles.
of doctor, you really can't go much further than that.
Yeah. Anyway, great story.
So, like, if one of the guys from the Crossed were like just eating you while raping you, would you still have to call them doctor?
Yep.
From what I recall of Crossed, it's a lot less personal. So I
I
don't think you're actually
think
addressing
you
him
call.
by
I
name.
think if they're eating you and raping you, you're going to be infected, and all you do is call him motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
Doctor motherfucker to
Dr.
you, son.
Motherfucker.
Would you say doctor motherfucker? That's my question.
I would say Doctor
Okay,
Motherfucker.
fair enough.
DMF.
In time for 2015, Nike promises to bring Back to the Future Power Laces shoes to us. It's no compensation for a hoverboard, and we'll see how well it works. I think it'll be a really interesting gimmick. It'll cost way too much and
I predict-
only be out for 1 year.
I predict that
Reebok pump.
47 people will lose at least 1 foot to one of these things.
or a finger, at least. Or, no.
47's wildly specific.
Yeah, that's
though.
a very specific.
Don't ask questions.
Have you traveled to the future and seen this story?
Yeah, I'm traveling to the future right now, 1 second per second. But
good So I think our kids are going to grow up not needing to learn to tie shoelaces.
They've
That's
had
what
that
they said when
technology for
Velcro
years.
came out.
Yeah,
Velcro.
I had those. They sucked.
I had a set of Reebok pumps in junior
Velcro?
high that were pretty
Yeah,
badass.
like
Velcro's good.
after about 6 months, it was just like they were all fuzzy.
Oh, you just
and
gotta you
couldn't-
gotta scrape the fuzz out of them.
Not on the receptor side was all just like these giant hairballs.
That's what I mean. You gotta scrape that out of it.
Upkeep, man. Come
Yeah.
on.
Take care of your shit.
I'm
Where's
getting
your
the impression this
Velcro
hadn't
love?
even occurred to Andrew.
You trim it, and it's not there anymore.
You don't trim it. You just
You
scrape
comb it out.
Brush it out.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I just broke your world. I'm sorry.
He wants his old shoes back.
I know. I
fucking
really
love
don't.
those shoes, man.
I didn't like the Velcro at all. It was very cool in the 80s, but I didn't really dig on the Velcro.
Yeah, we
I
made a
much
lot of bad
prefer
decisions in the
laces.
80s.
Penny Dreadful trailer.
Been seeing the headlines. I don't even know what Penny Dreadful is.
Well,
But Gavin does.
traditionally, A Penny Dreadful was a cheap novel with like a monster that was very popular in the yellow press in
But
Victorian
is there a
times.
character called Penny Dreadful, or is that what
Probably,
they're referring to?
but they're referring to that. 'Cause,
Oh, I didn't realize
it's
that.
sort of like all the monsters from Victorian literature all getting together. So think LXG, think Van Helsing. Hopefully less hokey than both of those.
Did you swallow your tongue when you said Van Helsing?
I really hated that movie. I wanted to like it. I really did, but it was just... It fell apart for me.
I honestly don't remember it. I'm sure I've seen it at least twice.
You know what I remember from it? I remember buzzsaws that you could spin up just by squeezing the handle, and they made these.
That's cool. What's
Yeah.
wrong with that? I remember the hot girls turning into crazy-looking vampires and swooping down on some
Oh yeah, I
town.
remember that
And
too.
That's about all I can
It
remember.
was in the preview. I remember that. 'cause I saw the
Probably,
preview.
yeah.
The
exactly.
pneumatically powered crossbow.
And, nice. Was Kate Beckinsale in that?
Yes, she was.
Oh.
Looking
And-
all kinds of hot in her bodice, but...
I know.
And what was it? The grenade.
oh, God.
The light grenade. I don't know how they did that in the 1800s, but they made a grenade, a chemical-based grenade that vaporized all the vampires.
white phosphorus.
Well, it worked in Blade 2.
Yes, but in Blade 2,
200 years later.
you had another 200 years.
And he had Daryl from Walking Dead making his
right.
tech for him.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
There's a new movie out called Drive Hard.
Ugh.
It's got Thomas Jane, who I like.
Love Thomas
and
Jane.
John Cusack, who I like. And I'm really, really looking forward to this. But not in an expectation. It's just two actors that I think will make a great...
That'd be work well together, yeah. Have you ever seen...
And the disc will be cheaper than coasters in a couple of weeks.
It's a buddy criminal movie. Which looks pretty promising. So
John Cusack's had a lot of failures lately. He just seems to come and go.
he's just
his
phoning
movies.
it in now.
Yeah.
He's done all the good movies. He can do whatever he wants.
I'll
He's like,
forgive a
this
lot after
has-
Grosse Point Blank.
Yeah, I got no problem with him. High Fidelity, one of my favorite
that's
books and
classic.
favorite
Fidelity,
movies of all time.
Serendipity.
Yeah.
I liked, what was it? Identity
Yeah,
was
Identity
fun.
was good.
That
1408
was
is
pretty
all
good,
right for a Stephen King
Yeah.
adaptation. But
Well, Stephen King, I'm not a huge fan of his writing, but his movies are usually fun.
yeah, no, I'll see that for sure. But I'm with you. I don't think it's gonna do. It's not gonna make waves.
It's
for sure.
no, but it's going to be one of those things that is probably like what I'm hoping is just really good, but fails horribly, and then goes straight to video.
Which
And-
is
Yeah.
likely what's going to happen.
And then in 10 years, I can bring it up and seem like this really awesome cinephile, a la In the Mouth of Madness.
Which I still haven't seen.
Or Hot
Again.
Tub Time Machine.
Thomas Jane film called Give 'Em Hell Malone. Have you ever seen
No.
this?
I love that name.
It's great. It's like a film noir kind of piece, and he's Malone, and it's very, the sultry broad came into my office and smoking.
Noir, yeah.
So, yeah, and they all wear the fedoras, and they all drive the old crazy cars, like the old souped-up cars. But it's set more today. They also will pull out a cell phone when they need it, kind of thing. But they talk in that old, radio drama kind of way. It is
Okay.
a really interesting... It's not a fantastic movie, but what they tried to do with it is really interesting. And Thomas Jane, like I say, I'll
I like Thomas
watch
Jane.
pretty
I'm a
much
big
anything
fan of the
he's
whole
in.
noir genre
Yeah.
in general. So
I saw it on Netflix, on Canadian Netflix.
So it's on Canadian Netflix.
Yeah.
Give 'Em Hell Malone.
Give 'Em Hell Malone. Highly recommend it.
I will check
I
that
had,
out.
I had real fun with that movie a few years ago when I saw it.
Irrational Games is going to shut down. The one of the co-founders, Kevin Levine, says he wants to get back to smaller narrative-driven games, and I don't know. I think this has probably something to do with the fact that the last game that they put out was quirky, buggy, and plagued with problems, and didn't do well for them.
What was that?
Bioshock
Bioshock
Infinite.
Infinite.
I thought it had good sales.
It
I-
did
I-
have
I think
decent
it did all right,
sales,
yeah.
but it was short. Like almost everybody I know that played it beat it in a weekend.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of the aspects of it, but frankly, you know what? Bioshock was great. We can walk away from that now. And if they're bringing their, because I read the press release, and they're bringing their top talent and going off to do narrative games, and I play video games when I'm being antisocial. So for me, that's just perfect. They're good at what they do. They're going to make a fun little games that are going to be very much in my I don't want to play multiplayer.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think this
Which
is
for the
probably going to be
longest
really good.
time, that's been on the downfall. That
Multiplayer?
for the longest time, single player has been on the downfall.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
no, I agree.
So it's fantastic. I mean, like I'm the same as you. I have no interest in going online and having a bunch of people who don't really have anything else going on in their lives killing me the second I come online. Like I want to play GTA 5. I'll probably never play it online.
People online that have no life Did you see this Pokemon story that's been happening on Twitch TV this weekend?
Oh my god!
Isn't this crazy, man?
What is it?
I don't even know where to start.
I know, it's so hard to explain, but the internet is playing Pokemon on Twitch TV. So this guy that runs a station on Twitch TV, which you watch professional gamers play, he set up this Pokemon system with some sort of program that allows the chat room to control what's going on in the Pokemon game. So at first there was like 50 people, 60 people and you're typing in old Game Boy Advance because they're playing Pokemon Red. So you're just typing in like B or up or whatever. But the game can only take so many. So this is so fucking hard to explain.
I said, I don't even know where to start.
So it's just like a free-for-all, right? Like everyone's typing in their commands.
Randomly typing
and then
in commands.
When the game is like, okay, I need a command now, it just picks whatever one just happened to be pressed at that time.
At the top of the queue.
So originally there's 30 people watching it. Then there's 100 people watching it. Then there's like 50,000 people watching it on Sunday afternoon trying to get this game. Like it took them 5 hours to get through one bush because nobody could type cut at the right time. It's crazy. It's still going on now. It's been going on since last Thursday, so like a week now. It's ridiculous. You guys, you have to look it up. Yeah, on Twitch TV.
I had seen something about that on Reddit, but like,
Reddit's got crazy.
I didn't know what it was
with
talking about, so I was just like, whatever.
I finally had to look it up. It's
and
like, okay,
me,
this is
you kind of
enough.
tuned out when you get to Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm not. I've never had much of a Pokemon past either.
I liked it in junior high, but no. I've never.
I was a bit too old for it when it came around, I think.
Yeah.
Were you on your first marriage, second marriage when? Pokemon
No, it
first
was
came out?
when I was in the Navy.
Finally, last story. A 370 meter diameter asteroid did a flyby on us on
Earlier
February 17th on Monday. You can watch it online even. They have a recording of it going past. Now, I think it said it passed us at 8.8 lunar units, so 8 times the distance between here and the moon.
Oh, yeah.
8.8 times the distance. So, not really close.
I got nothing to say about asteroids.
Don't you? I mean, I don't know. This is the...
So we should have everybody in China jump?
Try to start moving.
I'm not sure.
Did you listen to the afternoon show on CBC this afternoon?
No, I didn't.
There's an interesting story that they've just started figuring out. For 180 years or something, we've thought that there was an earthquake that hit Nova Scotia. So back in the early 1800s. And they are just starting to figure out now that it probably wasn't an earthquake. It was probably a meteor strike. But the sound wave and the push as the meteor comes through our atmosphere and stuff is what people thought was the earthquake. Like it would have shaken their houses and stuff like that. And at the time, they had no context for a meteor strike. They had no idea what space was, And they're just figuring out now that it's been in the earthquake books, the international earthquake books.
Yeah, because we're not in
forever.
a
No, we're not.
geologically active area.
Exactly.
There
but
are
it's been
no
in the books
fault
for over
lines
100
around
years
here.
as an earthquake happening. I can't remember what part of Nova Scotia, but I'm going to guess like down South Shore way or offshore there. And they're just now figuring out that no, it was probably a meteor strike. So there's all these scientists down there that are looking for little shards of meteor that might be over 200 years old. So little Google search for you. It was a very interesting story. Yeah.
No, I dig. I was actually even looking at a map. If you're ever on Google Maps, look at like right in the middle of Quebec. And if you're on Google Maps looking at Canada, look right in the middle of Quebec, and there's a huge crater right in the middle of Quebec, and it's a few 100,000 years old, but it's like a crater, a lake with an island and a lake in it. It's really kind of cool.
And a big Poutine statue right beside it.
Well, it's not. It's at the middle of Quebec, so I don't even know if there are roads that lead to it.
Interesting.
Do you guys have anything?
I haven't thought of anything Spider-Man-y from this week. Although he didn't show up in the Lego
Spider-Man-y?
movie. Spider-Man-y.
It's like
yeah, it's the...
Anyone seen RoboCop?
No.
I've heard good things though.
Yeah. I want to just see the Michael Keaton and Gary Oldman parts. This is what I've decided from all the promos I've seen.
Well, I mean, a
lately.
couple of
I
weeks
think
ago,
you've
Alex
probably
was,
already seen all
Yeah,
my
possibly.
Keaton
Yeah,
and
likely.
parts.
Good
a
point.
couple of weeks ago, Alex was making a point about needing more hard R science fiction, and they're rebooting everything.
Is it a hard R?
I doubt it.
I don't think this one is, no.
But it got me wondering, like, what are they going to make next? Like, what reboot's coming?
Oh.
Yes.
Yes,
I want to
Horseshack.
see Rocket Robin Hood live action.
Me too. I
Nice.
didn't until just this moment, but now I totally want
totally want to see Rocket Robin Hood live action. You could really pull something weird.
Well, I
out
was
of that, but it'd
watching,
be fun. The
yeah.
Electro Quarterstaff.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was watching Escape from New York the other day because I watch that periodically. Makes the time go by while I'm sorting, recycling, and what have you. And
Eases the pain.
yeah. I was like, geez, they could contemporize that one pretty neatly. Because I remember reading the book, and the book made a lot more sense than the movie did.
to. Who replaces Kurt Russell in your mind?
Carl Urban.
Pardon?
Carl Urban.
Good choice. Yeah.
He could pull it off, yeah.
Who does the Duke?
I finally watched Star Trek
Duke
Into
of
Darkness
New
the other
York.
night, too.
You cannot replace.
Michael Clark Duncan?
Isn't he dead?
That's a problem.
Slightly.
Like that's
Ving Rhames.
Ooh. Delroy Lindo.
Carl Urban's the best one. I don't know
No,
if
for the
that
Duke of New
works.
York?
for the Duke.
For,
of
the
New
Duke.
York.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were still...
No.
like, where
Carl
are you guys
Urban,
going
that's a
with
good
this?
choice. I'm loving
Duke,
Almost
though.
Human. So he's...
You know who... the guy that played Adebisi on Oz, Mr. Echo from Lost, whose name I can't pronounce because it has a gazillion letters
Yeah.
in it, but...
Or
He did all right
Anna
for
Wally
himself.
is his middle
Idris
name.
Elba.
Oh, yeah.
He's in everything.
Yeah, that's not bad,
okay.
though.
I could get behind that, yeah.
I'm watching The Wire.
So who plays
right now
Cabby?
when he's in that?
Yeah, he's awesome in that.
Remember the guy who played the cabbie ghost in Scrooged?
Yeah.
If he's
yeah,
still alive, get him.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. That's...
Who was that?
Have you ever seen Scrooge?
Yeah, but I don't remember the cabbie ghost.
Yeah,
It's
he
been
was
a
the
long
cabbie
time.
that brought him to his old house. As a
The
kid.
cabbie of Christmas Past.
Yeah.
I have to look up who played the cabbie of Christmas Past.
Or Louis C.K., I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Actually, the Louis C.K. would actually be pretty
Louis
good.
C.K. would... Yeah. Let's make him Batman. I mean, since we're just pulling people out...
No,
I
Affleck's Batman, let it go.
There was an interesting article of Affleck and Matt Damon doing donation drives and basically taking the piss out of each other.
Yeah, well, they're friends. That's what
Yeah,
they
they're
do.
best.
Yeah, it was a funny
old
video.
besties. Oh yeah.
David Johansen. That was
Nope.
the Ghost of Christmas Past in Scrooged.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to watch that again. Robert Goulet makes a cameo as himself.
Yeah.
I do not remember this movie, obviously.
I'm just saying.
Buddy Hackett's in it.
Alex was absolutely right. We need more hard R science fiction.
Yep.
Robert Mitchum's in it.
How about you? What's your hard R science fiction pick?
I don't know. That's a great question. I'll have one for next week when we come
Alex? Hard R science fiction.
Of like back in the day.
Oh, just
Or-
something you want to see rebooted. Or yeah, it's got to be a reboot.
I want to see a hard R Blade Runner.
Nice.
Yep.
That doesn't need rebooting.
But it's gonna happen.
It doesn't
that
need
one's
it,
got the most
but
chance
it's
of
gonna
happening.
happen.
Yeah.
And when it happens, I'd
It
want
would
it
be
to be
nice if
hard
they
R.
really just
Do it.
hit the throttle. Go.
There's no reason not to. Like nobody's gonna see it regardless. Like nobody who doesn't give a shit about it is gonna see it. Only people who care about it are gonna see it, and they would want to see, I think,
Yeah.
something
and
hard.
there are a lot of people who
Yeah.
care about Blade Runner.
I'm taking the
Because of
weekend
Star
off to
Wars.
watch it 4 or 5 times.
No. Just watch each version once.
Way ahead of you.
There's only 90 of them now.
Oh, I really enjoyed the original version because it had that great film noir voiceover that they got rid of in the
Yeah.
director's cut.
Good movie.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind a hard R reboot of that.
I'm gonna go with a hard
really
R
do.
G-Force. It's gonna Battle of the Planets movie
Nice.
in the work. That would be all right. Doesn't need to be hard R though.
No, I don't think
That
you
one
could
would
do
work better
that.
as a PG-13, but give me a really dark version of it.
Really dark. Yeah.
Well, like when they did the hard R Aliens versus Predator Requiem, like that's what I want to
So
see.
bad.
If they're gonna Requiem wasn't bad.
Requiem was solid.
Which one
Yeah,
was
that was the one in the small town in the Northwest.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that wasn't.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
It was better than the first AVP.
Oh yeah. So like, but that's what they need to do. If they're going to do another Predator, if they're going to do another Aliens, they need to do hard R.
Well, there's a market for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Requiem, I think I'd need to check, but I would be willing to bet that Requiem did better than AVP.
I would probably say that's wishful thinking. Generally speaking, sequels never do as well. And AVP hurt a lot of people. Bad.
This will be the last thing that we look up before we say goodbye.
No. We'll
I think
revisit it
AVP.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm PigMonkey.
I'm Gavin.
I'll be Bill.
I'm still Alex.
Are you angry?
I am perturbed.
Okay.
Hey, look,
that's
there's
the
Derek.
show.